Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to Felsbrunn Farm. I've just had a morning cup of tea and I'm looking out my window and I can see we have some growth on our fields. Let's go check it out. Let's make our way out of the house. And there we go, we have stage 1 growth on our crops. Gradually growing away, same on the other field over there. 2 fields of soybeans starting to come in quite nicely. We run over to the chickens and have a look at those. We can see we've now got a 3rd box on the way. How much mess is there? There's a little bit of mess. Let's quickly clean that up before we do anything else. Oops. Overshot the mark a little bit there. Go. So today is going to be basically a contracting day, I think. There isn't really a lot that we are going to need to get done. Although we can start off doing a little bit of field work. We do need to put a second application of fertilizer on both of our fields. So we will start off with that. Let's jump into the Fent and hook up to our sprayer, and we can actually use it for spraying fertilizer for the first time. We tried last time and we left it too late. The crops were grown too much for us to be able to fertilize them again. So we've only really used it for herbicide at the moment. Now we actually get to use it for its intended original purpose, which is improving the yield of our crops. Although I suppose you could argue that spraying herbicide is also improving the yield of crops. Well, I suppose it's a technicality. It's not really improving, but it's stopping it from falling. So 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, I suppose. So you know what, the crop does actually look, with the new lighting engine, looking overhead, that crop does look very different. It's the same texture that we've seen before. It's just with that new lighting. Looking at it above, it looks so different because of the way the light's shining and creating those shadows on the crops themselves. Every time I see something with the lighting engine, it just, it really does impress me with just how much of a difference it has made. It really does look good, and I can't actually tell. It's a little tricky to tell if we are actually darkening the soil. Normally it's so easy, but because of the way the light is shining, it does make it a little bit trickier. I think the soil's getting darker behind the sprayer. It looks as though it might be, but it's so tough to tell. It'd be maybe perhaps a little bit easier as the sun gets a little bit higher to see that definite change. Yeah, those shadows do make it a little bit tough. Let's raise the boom up a little bit as well. There we go. Just a touch too high. So I have to say I do like this Hardy Mega Sprayer. This is a very nice piece of kit. It's not the largest possible tank, but it's a good sized capacity for a standalone unit. Of course, we could kind of borrow the Kuhn tank to increase the front storage, storage by adding a front tank if we wanted to. It's a shame there isn't a matching front tank for this. I wonder if there is one in real life. I have to admit, I'd never heard of Hardy before. Ooh, there goes another sign. Wouldn't be an episode of Felsbrunn Farm if I wasn't destroying the local signage. Yeah, you can see that very definite darker soil from certain angles. So that is good. But yeah, it wouldn't be an episode of Felsbrunn Farm without me knocking signs over left, right and centre, albeit accidentally. But yeah, it's a shame that there isn't a matching front tank in game, and I'd never heard of Hardy as an agricultural brand, not coming from an agricultural background. My knowledge of farming generally is limited to what I've picked up from Farming Simulator and just kind of general farming browsing to try and learn a bit more about the game and some of the brands and some of the methods that are involved. since I started playing the games a couple of years back. So, yeah, this was a brand that I'd never heard of before. I don't know anything about them. So I do kind of need to do a little bit of research, I suppose, on Hardy at some point. Just look them up and see how long they've been around, where they're based, what they mainly produce. I'm guessing it's going to be spraying tech, given that we have this sprayer here and the monster sprayer, the biggest sprayer we've ever seen in the game, with that huge boom arm and a 9,000 litre tank. That's just immense. It's way bigger. That's massively bigger than anything we've had before. I think the largest we've had in the past, as a, in terms of in-game equipment, not counting mods, was the New Holland sprayer, which I think had a capacity of around 5 to 6,000, somewhere in that region. And we had Big Brute as a mod from Black Sheep earlier in the year, along with Welker Farms. And that, I think, has a capacity of a little over 6,000 litres. But 9,000 litres, that thing is huge, absolutely monstrous. In fact, we can probably have a look, actually. Now, the New Holland's not in the game. I wonder if they'll add that as a mod. Maybe. This one, this one's got a 9,000 tank as well, the Imperador. I think that's been improved. It says the Imperador 3.0. I might have to go back and check Farming Sim 17's Platinum DLC and see if that was the 3.0 version of the Imperador, or if it was just the Imperador with no version attached to it. Because I don't remember that having a 9,000 litre tank either. Or maybe it's just something that's been upped for gameplay purposes and isn't 100% accurate to real life. I don't know. Given that we're doing a lot more spraying these days than we were before, not just in terms of crops being sprayed, but also weeds being sprayed with herbicide as well, we are burning through the stuff a lot quicker than we might have had to in the past. So, yeah, maybe they've been kind to us and they've upped the storage capacity of those a little above what they should be, just to make it a little bit easier for us. I don't know. We'll have to look into that. Like I said, I don't remember the Imperador having a 9,000 litre tank on Farming Sim 17's Platinum DLC. I'm pretty sure that was around 6,000 or so. It's going to be a quiet couple of days on the farm, actually, really, once this spraying is done. We shouldn't have to weed again now that we've got that out of the way until the crop is harvested. Then we'll probably have to do another weed. We'll have to kind of look after our chickens on a kind of every now and again basis, just look in on them and make sure that the food area is clean and clear and that they haven't run out of food. But that's pretty much it. And beyond that, we just have to wait for our crops to grow. So we've got another 2 growth stages to go through yet, maybe 3 growth stages before they're ready. So in all that time, we're basically just going to be contracting. So what I might do is I might skip a day just to move us along to our harvest a little bit faster, because it's just going to be me doing contracts over and over again. We don't really have the cash to go out and buy big shiny things to distract us with other tasks at the moment. The money that we did have that we could possibly have put towards investing in something, we kind of blew on buying the chickens. And beyond that, I've got, 20 grand on hand. Have I got anything left in the bank? I don't remember. I think I might have a little bit of availability left in the bank. Let me check our finances and see. I think we can take out about 30,000 from the bank. Yeah, pretty much 35,000. So our loan limit's gone up to 740. I think that was limited to 735 the other day. Maybe I was just 5 grand short on my withdrawal limit. So we do have 55 grand to play about with. It's not really enough to supplement our equipment roster just yet. We can't really do much of anything unless we lease equipment. We could always do some leasing. Maybe we could lease a mower and a baler and do some silage bales and make a little bit of money that way. But I've heard that you still need access, if you want to sell at the BGA, you still need access to, you know, to buy that just to be able to sell stuff there, which might also explain why when we tried to sell our straw bale there a couple of days ago, we couldn't actually sell it because we didn't have permission. We didn't own the BGA. So that's going to be a very expensive purchase, you know, further down the line, to be able to buy the land that contains the BGA, and just so that we can start doing silage, you know, en masse. I mean, if we produce loose silage, we don't need the BGA to do that. We can do that on our farm. We just have to buy a bunker and put that down, and they're cheap. They're only about 15 grand, I think, for the small ones, the small single bunkers. So very, very cheap. But if we don't have anywhere to sell loose silage, and I think the BGA is the only place we can do that, it's kind of pointless. You know, we could make it and just sit on it, and it would just sit there for ages and ages and ages until we could raise the hundreds of thousands that we need to buy the land that contains the BGA. So I think we're a long way off getting that, because I would rather add more fields to our lineup before I added the BGA, and the land for fields is going to be expensive. I don't think there's anything cheap nearby. Now, Field 3 would be the natural choice as the next purchase because it is so close. And I will pull up the map menu and have a look in a moment. I'm just wary that I might drift a little bit. We're not too far from finishing this pass, so I'll spin around a second again in a moment, and we'll take a look at where we can expand to next and see which is the cheapest option that's practical. As I said last time out, we are a little hamstrung in some of our choices because of where we position the farm. We've got this wonderful location where we've been able to build a very nice, very, you know, stylish farm. We've even got space for the chicken coop on the side. We've got wonderful views all around, beautiful views, and we've got a small selection of fields that are, you know, within a short distance of our farm. Obviously, we've got two here. Field 3 is just the other side of the road. I think that's currently a grass field. And then there's a couple of fields a little bit further along the main road, you know, heading straight in front of us. There's a sort of a almost like a little house area over there with one or two houses. Maybe it's a hotel or a villa or some kind of resort or something. And a little area over there that we could potentially look at building something in over there as well. And then there's a field or two over there. I think there's two fields over that way. We have options there, but it's a question of how expensive the land is, not how big the fields are. This is what we have to get used to now, is that we look and see, oh, there's a small field. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to go cheap. That small field might be on a very big bit of land. That small field might be bundled together with another small field in a very, very big bit of land. Or there might be a BGA or something linked in that same parcel of land, making what should theoretically be quite a cheap purchase into a very expensive purchase. So we do have to be very wary of that from now on. It's going to take a little while to get used to that new kind of mechanic in terms of expanding the farm. It's going to be much more expensive to do so going forward than we're used to. And it'd be interesting to see what the modders do with that. Whether they create these large open spaces around the fields and then group that into the land purchase, or whether they keep their land purchases very tight around the edges of the field, so you're only buying a little bit more than the field itself to keep the costs down. I think we might see a mixture of that on maps and just in general. Some mappers might make quite large chunks of land which maybe contain multiple fields. Some might do very small parcels, and you have to buy lots and lots and lots of them. I'm still hoping, now that we have this kind of new system, I'm still hoping that somebody out there is going to create a map where, now that we have this whole land system, I've always kind of liked the idea of going in on a map and there being no fields. And on 17, by no fields, I meant just all the fields were grassed, you know, and you had to kind of plough all the grass out and then turn them into proper working fields. Now that we have this new system where we just have land purchases and not individual fields, I think it'd be great if we just had land with nothing on it at all, and it was entirely up to us how we shaped the fields on those land purchases. I would love to see somebody give that a try. It wouldn't be for everybody. I don't know how well that would go down with the overall community, but I think as an experiment, I would love to see a map like that. I really would, where we go in and it's a completely blank slate in terms of where the fields are and how those fields are kind of spaced out. We would just buy chunks of land and then we would create the fields within that land. I'd love to see that. I think that would be such an interesting concept to try, and then every single person would have a unique take on how to approach that map. If that's the case, if there were no pre-marked fields, then everyone would interpret the fields or interpret the creation of those fields in different ways. And so I don't think there would be very many people who would have the same experience or a very similar experience. Every single experience could theoretically be completely unique. And that's an exciting idea, I think. I just hope that somebody out there does give that a try, because I think that would be incredible. I really do. As a concept, I don't know how practical that would work out, how well it would actually translate, but on paper, at least in my head, that sounds like it could be amazing as a challenge, and I would love to see a mapper give us the opportunity to try that at some point in the future. Who knows, maybe it'll happen. Right, we've done spraying. That was quick. So, let's take a look at the land. We were going to do that, weren't we? So, this is field 3. This parcel of land here, as you can see, look, we only really want field 3, which is this. That's all we want. But the parcel of land obviously contains the borders around this as well, but it also includes the sawmill. Now, we don't have to own the sawmill to be able to use it. We can sell there regardless, but that's a big purchase. You can see that's €303,816. That's quite pricey. Field 4 over here, again, it's just field 4 that we really technically want, but look at all the land that comes attached with it, which means that's €472,500. And then field 5 down here, that's the cheapest of the lot. It's only a small little field, but look at all the extra land we're getting all the way across here and all the way down here as well. It's all more than the actual field that we want. So that's kind of the only land that's close by, and ideally that's what's going to be our farm. Those 5 fields and all the land that goes around it, and maybe we can do some expanding and maybe even possibly create a small custom field up here depending on what the terrain's like. Do something with this area, maybe turn this into an animal area perhaps. We've got options when we expand into here, but to buy all of that land there is going to cost us close to €1,000,000 just for those 3 plots of land. That's very, very expensive indeed. So we are kind of a little bit stuck in that respect. I mean, if we'd come down here, then, much, much cheaper, much smaller plots of land, but very, very small fields. So, yeah, we're a little hamstrung in some respects, but we've got good-sized starting fields. We can get decent yields off those, and it's just up to us how we progress going forward, I think. So, right, we need a contract. We need a way to bring in some money today. So let's take a look and see what is available. See if there's something we haven't done yet. We've got some fertilizing. We could do that. 4,000 minus the rewards. Plus we would have to pay for our own fertilizer. So that's actually, I don't know, fertilizer jobs are quick. So we can actually knock out a few of those in one day. We've got all the equipment we need. We just have to pay for the fertilizer. So there's a few different fertilizing jobs that we could look at. We've got it says fertilizing, but that could possibly be a lime job. Maybe. Would it say whether one is lime or not? Not at the moment. And we've got a new transport contract, and it was actually pointed out to me, and I've got to check to see who it was. I've got to get in the habit of doing this. Who was it who suggested to me? I've got to find that comment now. Bear with me 2 seconds. I'm going to dig this comment out and I'm going to find it. Okay, here we go. It was Lyle Kerr back on episode 4 when we tried to do that delivery job with the Mahindra. Said you didn't try picking it up. You know, you can pick up a tree with your hands, but you didn't try picking up a pallet. And I thought that's a good point. We didn't try that, so we can try that now. So we're going to take this contract on. We're going to try this and see if we can actually pick up that pallet with our hands and then load it into the back of our Mahindra. And you can see that little bit of grain that was in the back has disappeared. All I've done is just reload my save file to start this recording. And it's not in there. So it looks like it was just a little glitch having that little bit in there. So where do we need to pick up from? Does it say? From Farmer Hans. Okay, where is Farmer Hans? That's a good question. Where is Farmer Hans? I'm looking for a yellow dot. That's the red dot. That's where we've got to deliver to. That's the Castle Hotel. Ah, there we go. That's where we're headed. Just there. So I can't set a location marker by the look of it. Right, the quickest way for us to get there could be that way. Down there and then straight down, cut through those fields and arrive there. It's about 50-50 either way, but we do need to refill the Mahindra. I forgot to do that last time. So we'll go this way so that I can refuel here and then we'll come along and around that way. I think that's going to be the way to do it. So I will see you in just a moment. Refueling has changed a little bit as well. I'm so used to seeing like a fuel gauge going up incrementally. Now it just kind of goes up in little chunks, and the smaller the fuel tank, the faster those chunks go up. So it's a little bit strange to see that, but very cheap to just fill this thing up. A tiny little fuel tank. Right, let's make our way over to go and collect that pallet. If this doesn't work now, I think I'm going to be really upset. Because we're going to have to take the Mahindra back to the farm, pick up the JD, not the JD, sorry, the New Holland, bring that back with the pallet forks, and then go and do the delivery job. You know, and I'd kind of like to actually take a trip up to the castle up there. I haven't been up there to explore yet. I've driven past it a few times, but I've never actually been up and had a wander around up there. And it is such a big bit of scenery because it's up so high. You can see it from loads of different locations. I saw it so many times while I was on that potato contract, you know, just staring at me. So I was looking around in the grim of Varitron. I would just see that looming on the hilltop in the distance. So I think we should really check it out. So, right, our whoa, nearly lost control. This thing's so twitchy. As soon as you get above 30 miles an hour, this thing starts to get quite twitchy. So be really, really careful with the steering input at 40 miles an hour. Even more so when you get to 50, 60. It's a bus stop. So this, I think, is our pickup location. Somewhere here. Should be a turn off, I think. Ah, here we go. Nice little drive in. Oh, we got 2 pallets to move. Ah, that's interesting. I can't pick up the pallet. Ah, I can't pick up the pallet. Ah, that sucks. Foiled again. Okay. Is it really worth it for $800? Well, yeah, we'll do it. I'm just wondering if there's a... I think what we'll do is... I didn't realise, I wasn't expecting 2 pallets. We'll go get the New Holland. And we'll take one of our trailers. We'll switch it over to flatbed version so that we can load onto the pallets onto the trailer. and then take them both at once. You know, that's going to be the easiest way to do it. Again, a shame I can't physically pick them up. It gives me the grab symbol to try and pick up the contents, but of course the contents are strapped down to the pallet and we can't interact with the pallet by hand. So, sorry Lyle, thanks for the suggestion. You know, I can't believe I didn't try that last time, but we can't do it, unfortunately. We can't shove them in the back of the Mahindra. So I stand by my original statement that it's a missed opportunity, and hopefully that will be addressed at some point in the future. And next time we get a big patch, they might do something to change that as part of that patch. Who knows? It'd be nice. I'm not going to hold my breath though. Let's start slowing down. And there we go. I think there's a bit of a dip just here, but I think we'll park the trailer here. Like that. Let's try and put it at a bit of an angle if we can. Just to make a little bit easier for loading. There we go. Right. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure what those pallets are supposed to contain. Small white boxes. Can we actually see anything on the boxes to give us a clue? The polystyrene, perhaps? I don't know, actually, that almost looks like bubble wrap around the edges. Maybe it's just patterned paper. But there does seem to be some kind of hazard symbol on there. Are we transporting something dangerous? I wonder. I doubt it. You never know the strange things that go on here in Felsbrunn. Right. We can afford to just stack them in the middle like this, if they'll come off the forks, that is. No, these ones are wedged. There we go. Let's flip them off and start again. That's better. Let's try this one again. Oh, when did it get so hard just to load a pallet onto a trailer? I've got really lazy at some things. I used to do so much of this sort of thing hands-on in the first year of Farming Sim 17. You know, I do a fair bit of stuff with pallets, and I got very good at stacking pallets on top of each other. You know, like seed pallets and fertilizer pallets. Actually, getting those little nodules on the feet into the grooves on the top of the pallet below, so that they were perfectly flush. I got really good at doing that, and then I just started using placeables for seed tanks all the time and kind of got out of practice of pallet stacking. And I got really good at baling, you know, in terms of stacking round bales and square bales manually. And then we got the claws from Black Sheep, so that we could do 4 bales, and we got that 4 bale stacker as well. And I kind of stopped doing quite so much manual stacking of things. I'm assuming those are strapped down. I hope they're strapped down. I guess we'll find out if they go flying off when we go around a corner. And then on top of that, we had the auto load trailers come out, and they're sliding. Oh, they're not they're... What? We've got straps and we can't strap down these pallets. Oh, that's terrible. We just have to be really careful. These may well end up flying off. So I think we're going the wrong way as well, which doesn't help. Let's go cross country here. Be a little bit naughty. Be careful because of these bumps now. If I'd known, I'd have taken the 4,000 litre configuration where we basically have sidewalls on this. Sliding. I don't like to see that. That's not good. Where's my way up as well? I'll figure out how to actually find a way up from here. I think there is an entrance path way back behind us. I'm guessing there's got to be one around here somewhere, maybe. I'm going to keep my eyes open. But yeah, I just got really out of practice, especially once those auto-load trailers came out. I just stopped doing manual bale stacking and need to get back into practice with that, because I am a bit rusty. As is evidenced by how long it took me to actually stack those round bales just recently. Right, somewhere around here I'm hoping it's going to be a turn off. Easy around the corner. I don't care about the sign. I don't want to lose my pallets on the back. We're way too low at the moment. We need to gain more height. I think we need to go to the other side of the mountain, the far side of it, to find a way up. I don't think there is one around here. This is all back gardens and stuff. There's nothing there. Maybe up here. No. We've come to the little station here, the Hauptbahnhof, and there isn't a way out. I'm gonna have to turn around and go back again. Ah, dear, oh dear. I'm a little bit lost. Oh no! No, there we go. I knew that was going to happen. I may as well take the straps off completely. Right, let's get this reloaded and get back on the road again. So we've done a lap of the mountain for no apparent reason, but here's the turn off. Yeah. Whoops. I decided if I have at least one pallet on the forks, it's one less to worry about sliding off the back of the trailer. So you can see where we are, and you can see where that yellow dot above field 26 where we started. We did a complete lap of the mountain for no reason whatsoever. It just went the wrong way, and that's thrown us off a little bit. But this is where we need to be. As long as we're careful, we should get there with our load intact. I can actually see the load in my mirrors, which is quite nice. So I can see if it's about to go flying off down the side of a mountain. I'm going to be very careful on the corners. And look how high we are already. And we're still only about halfway up, if that. Very nice little sort of almost cobbled street here. It's sort of brick road. It is very pretty around here. Still going around. We're going to go all the way around another loop of the island, loop of the mountain, but obviously gaining height this time as opposed to just driving around the bottom of it for no apparent reason. You can see a ship coming in over there, cargo ship making its way down the river. Huge bridge across the river, way off in the distance. I don't think I've ever noticed that bridge before. It's part of the background scenery. It's not something we can reach, but yeah, that's a big old bridge, and I'm just going to have to jump out for a second and just have a look down at the town. That's where we lost our load, just over there, just a few moments ago. It really is. Oh, look at that. That's a stunning view. We're almost there as well, almost at the top, so let's make our way around there. Again, lovely view all the way across. Can we see our farm from there, I wonder? Not in detail, but we can see roughly where it should be. We'll wait till we get to the actual castle itself, and then we'll see if we can see our farm from up here. There's even a plot of land up here as well, look. It's not marked. That's a free field. Oh no, it's not field. Free. It's owned by Jessica Richter. So we would have to pay... I'm so used because I don't see a number on it. I just assume it's a free field. It's my Farming Sim 17 mindset kicking in. It's free, unclaimed land. But of course we still have to buy the land that the field is on. So not free after all. Now, do we deliver here? Yes, there's our drop-off point just here, look. Okay, so that's one pallet. Is it off the forks? Nope, it's not. Oh, and now it's upside down. This is probably the most incompetent delivery service out there at the moment. This is terrible. We turned up with the wrong equipment, and then we went and got other equipment, and we got a trailer that we can't secure the load to, and then we went the wrong way, and then we lost we lost half of it and had to stop and reload it. Now we've dumped half of it upside down on delivery. Yeah, I would not use my service if I were a paying customer. It would be 1 star on Amazon, big complaints and a very, very snotty, review video. I'm guessing we're here. Why is this not registering as done? Or maybe we have to close the actual contract off, don't we? This one's just outside. The one that's upside down is actually outside the delivery area. Dear, dear, dear. All this work for less than €1,000. That's the extremes we go to just for a little bit of cash. There we go. They're both in there. There we go. Transport finished. Let's complete the contract. Is that it? It wasn't even 800. It's 477. That's even worse. Ah dear. But here we are. This is the hotel. The castle is just up there. We're going to have a little explore in a second. I want to see if I can see my farm. So my farm is just there. I think you can just make out the concrete base that I laid. Or that might possibly be part of the hill, but I think that's the concrete base. There's our 2 fields. You can just see the second one just there. That thin band of green. And there's fields 4 and 5 just there. So we can kind of see where our farm is. We just can't actually physically see it. But very nice little hotel here. Let's go check out the castle while we're here. Can we get in here and actually have a look around? Not really. We get into the ruins section over here. Oh, ye olde medieval toilet. Complete with a modern plastic toilet lid. Someone's obviously renovated. Not sure it meets my discerning standards of acceptable toilet, though. It doesn't look as though we can actually get into the castle. That's a bit of a shame. I was hoping to actually get into the tower. Maybe we can. No, I can get into the window arch, and that's it. So we can't get into the castle. That's a shame. I would have liked to have climbed the tower and had a look out from the very top there. I suppose we could always do some kind of log trick to fly our way up there. But, okay. Right, that's our very unprofessional delivery service job completed. Let's see if we can find something a bit more suitable as a job for us, some farming work to do, and see where we go from there. What do we have available? Spraying. Fertilizing. No, thank you. No transporting. More fertilizing. Lots of fertilising jobs. That is a terrible payout there. Not doing that one. We want something with a big payout. It's more cotton work. We'd only get 2,200 or so. We would get to use one of the new John Deeres though. The new JCBs. Got John Deere on the brain today, and I don't know why. Another potato contract. I think that's the one we nearly did yesterday or the other day, and decided to go for the larger one instead. Oh, here's something different. A mowing contract. Failed field 3. That's actually close to where we are. Field 30. Where is field 30? That's hopefully closer to the barn than we are. No, not really. Actually, no, it is. I mean, the barn is what, here? Field 30 is there. I think let's do field 30's mowing job. We haven't done a mowing contract yet, so let's take this one on, and we'll lease the items, I think. There we go. So let's go collect the equipment and do some baling. Okay, this is the equipment that we're going to be using. It's a lot of equipment. So we have a Valtra. Is this an N or a T? It's an N. Okay, so we've got a Valtra N. We've got a pair of mowers, a weight. We also have a merger and a baler and a tedder and an Arcusin bale stacker. That's a lot of equipment, and we can kind of help a little bit by taking our T6 along for the ride as well. So let's leave our trailer here. Let's park it up just there for a second. We'll drop off our forks as well. We can collect these a little bit later. There we go. And we can actually transport some of this equipment ourselves. So let's start by taking the mowers. This is going to really pivot my tractor forward a little bit, I think. Oh yes, quite a bit forward. So we drop those there for a second. Don't tip over, don't tip over. Let's grab the merger as well. There we go. And then we can jump back into the Valtra and bring up, you know, the next bit of equipment. We're going to field 30. I was right round the corner. That's handy. Not far to go at all. It's a grass field, obviously, so there we go. Just wondering if we could maybe sneak a couple of extra bales out of this. Let's get the Valtra. That's actually pretty close to my channel colour, that blue. Might have to consider that as a theme colour going forward. But obviously we just need to mow the field, but I'm wondering if we can maybe sneak some extra bales off the boundary around the field as well. Might not let us do that. It's worth a try, I suppose. What's this Valtra look like on the... Oh, look at that screen there. And that joystick control panel. That's very nice. So I'm trying to watch where I'm going and just stare at the joysticks at the same time. It's nice in here. Really nice. Oh look, a little Finnish flag sticker there as well. Oh, I do like this interior, this cabin. This is nice. This is very nice. Does it still rotate, or was that something that was only available on the larger vouchers? I want the help menu, don't I? Let's have a look. Yeah, that was a feature that's only in the larger vouchers by the look of it. So we can't do a 180 in our cockpit. That's a bit of a shame. But we'll get the rest of the equipment on the field. We'll get started with the mowing. I think I'll just stick to the field. You know, we don't really need grass at the moment, and won't need it for a while either. So we'll just stick to what we need to get done, because we've got a lot of stages to go here. Mowing and rowing and tedding and baling and stacking and delivering. It's a lot for £5 grand. So yeah, we'll crack on with that, and I'll see you in a moment. Oh, it's a struggle getting up this hill. It really is very, very steep up here. And as you can see, the mowers do not row anymore. They just cut and leave it all kind of just boom, across the floor like that. So a merger is, or a windrower is now much more of a necessity than it was before. You know, and I do like the way that the grass kind of bends as it goes into the mower, with that new sort of crop bendy feature. Mowing is definitely going to be very different in Farming Sim 19, that is for sure. There we go, that is the mowing finished. So let's drop these off, grab the coon merger, start rowing up that grass. Well, actually no, we'll ted it first, and then we'll merge it. Move all the equipment out of the way like that. There's plenty of room to work in. Let's get this unfolded. And away we go with the tedding. And the tedding is done. That didn't take very long at all. Nice and straightforward, that job. So now we need to row all of that up with the merger. I'm so glad that that's been kept in the equipment roster. One of my favourite bits of the Coon DLC is the merger. It's just absolutely fantastic. Amazing piece of equipment to use. There we go. Right, let's get this unfolded. Does look like it's had a little bit of a tune-up. Looks a little bit different. Just in terms of its colour. In places looks slightly different. Like it's had a little bit of a tweak. Let's get all of the grass, or all of the hay, neatly rowed, so we can start baling. And the merging is done. Rattling through these little stages of this job quite quickly here. Now it's going to get a little bit more interesting. We have the baling. I wonder how many we're going to end up with. Plus the weight of the baler and the power drain from actually running it is going to make us crawl, really crawl when we get to the top bit. This is going to be very sort of slow progress, I think, when we get to the top of the hill on each pass. Let's see how quickly are we making these. Oh, slow progress here, look. Wow, look at that. We are really struggling already. Are we even going to be able to pull this up this hill? That is a real question. I don't know. Are we bogged down? Are we beached? I don't know. I don't think so. You can hear the engine really revving as it's moving the PTO. You can see the PTO is spinning in its casing there, and you can see the arm of the PTO vibrating and bouncing around a lot. Some very cool little animation that we get there. 3 miles an hour, and we haven't even crested the steep part yet. That's still to come. This could be very bad indeed. I think they could have done with giving us a more powerful tractor than this. Okay, I do think we are bottoming out a little bit, and we are getting beached on these windrows, and that's why we're slowing down quite so much. I mean, look, we're barely moving here, and the ground is reasonably flat. There's no reason we should only be doing 2-3 miles an hour here. So I think we are getting, we are getting beached on the height of this windrow. So if you're going to do big rows, you're going to need a big tractor with a high clearance, by the look of it. These low clearance small tractors just aren't going to cut it for the big rows. Not at speed anyway. Okay, there we go. It's the last of the baling done. It's just tiny little tufts that are just outside the reach of the field, but very tricky to get, because the second you get off the field, you get "this is reserved for contracting" message pop up. So any ideas that we might have had at the beginning about potentially sneaking a few extra bales, never going to be a possibility with that message popping up. Right, so the bales are done. Now we need to collect them and sell them, so we get to use the auto stacker. See if I can do this in cab. It's been a while since I've used one of these. Lined up. Wonder what our speed's going to be like on the hills over here. Not good, I'm guessing. There we go. Did I miss a bale? No, I got them all. Okay. So, yeah, let's fill this trailer up. Let's take them over to the barn, sell them, come back, get the rest, and close the contract off. Who knows? Maybe we might get a little bit extra for the odd bale here and there as well. First stack of 16 bales about to be sold off. That's a tight turn, but we made it. There we go. Straighten back out again. Get these sold off. Wonder how much money we'll get for these. Oh, nothing, of course. It's a transport job. Of course, we're not going to get any money until, you know, there are any leftover bales we might get a little bit of payment for. So, I need to go and get the rest of them. Like the last 12 bales here. So if we're going to get any extra cash, this is where we're going to get it at some point in this stack. If that's the big question. We might not get any extra money at all. We didn't with the cotton harvest. That was just, you know, thank you very much for the 2 bales, off you go kind of thing. Let's see what we get this time out, if anything extra. Oh, 1 bale, 401 euros. Maybe that's 1 bale, maybe 2 bales. So not a huge bonus amount, but you know, it all adds up, doesn't it? So let's go take the voucher and the stacker back to the store, close the contract off, and that'll be it for the end of the day. What I'll do, because it's still relatively early at 4:15, is I'll run another couple of transport jobs just to try and get my you know, my JBPG trucking reputation back up again with the locals. It's pretty much in the toilet right now after that horrendous delivery job that we had earlier. So I'll run a couple of extra delivery jobs and then we'll look at taking on another big contract tomorrow. So that's it from me. Thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I'll be back with some more Felsbrunn Farm very soon.